Well, it's the 21st of June. We're back here at Parliament House. It's been another interesting day after the doorstops this morning. Probably the main thing that's really happened today was we saw the Liberal Party seem to have the numbers now to pass the Gonski 2.0, the education reforms that they're looking at. The ones that Labor claim is stripping about $22 billion out of education, but they claim is going to remedy all the ills in education forevermore. Also, we saw today the government's media reform package discussed again in its second reading. There was a lively debate in that media reform package, which I must say looks somewhat unlikely to get through, with the opposition not being happy about the changes to the 2 out of 3 rule. Michelle Rowland gave a spirited speech today in that package where she talked about a 6-month-old daughter, and she said that a 6-month-old daughter had reached all her development goals, so why hadn't the government? Leading to a fair bit of laughter in the on the opposition side of the chamber. She also spoke about the NBN, something that's been a bone of contention for many Australians. This afternoon I've got here Laurie Patton from Internet Australia.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Laurie? You having a good day?
Yes, it's been a good day, I think, all up, but not for people who use the internet.
All right, now, Laurie, as you would have seen, if you're an Independent Australia reader, had an article on IA Today about the NBN, relating to a what could be described as a little bit of a flare-up between himself and the NBN CEO, Bill Morrow, during Senate estimates recently. Now, first of all, Laurie, can you just tell us, who does Internet Australia represent?
Okay, so we're a not-for-profit and we represent everyone who uses the internet. We're part of a global organisation with about 90,000 members in 110 countries, and it was formed in 1992 by the people who actually built the internet.
All right, now can you talk to me about, or talk to us about what happened with Bill Morrow?
Look, it was a bit of a one-sided event, really. I was at home one night, and all of a sudden I started getting a whole bunch of tweets from people saying that I'd been defamed in Parliament. Look, Bill Morrow's a very interesting character who runs a very interesting organisation, and we've been very critical of NBN, and he doesn't like that.
All right, so you're not going to actually say what Bill said about you? There was a certain degree, amount of profanity, I understand.
Look, I'll let other people say what he said. I'm not going to repeat it, but the fact of the matter is the Senate, in its wisdom, gave me the opportunity to have a right of reply, which you've published, so people who want to read it can have a look at that.
Do you think that there's something a little cowardly about government-owned instrumentality CEOs standing up during estimates and using that as a forum to attack people who are representing the interests of Australians?
Look, our attitude is really basically we've called on the Prime Minister to instruct the NBN to have their CEO apologise, and if they don't, then we'll take it back to the Senate and see what the Senate has to say. Look, we're building an inferior broadband network. It's not going to do what people want in the future, and all we're doing is pointing out the bleeding obvious, and if they don't like that, well then that's no excuse for them using parliamentary privilege to try and bag us.
Laurie, tell me, what is the position on Internet Australia about Australia's NBN?
Look, but essentially we started out building a fibre-based 21st century model. We're now building one using copper wires. It's not going to deliver what people want in the future. There is an alternative. It's called fibre to the driveway, and we've argued that it's time for the government and the opposition to come together and say, look, there's a better option. Let's stop the fight. Let's stop the argument between the government and the opposition, who's right, who's wrong. Let's try and actually build something that'll work in our future for both our economic and our social prosperity.
Sounds good to me, Laurie. Thanks very much for speaking to Independent Australia.
Thank you.
So that's it for today, and we'll be back tomorrow for Thursday from Parliament, the last day before the long winter recess. So keep on watching IA.